I want to zoom out a little bit. Now I want you to picture this. They have been in this wilderness. They've been on this awkward journey for like 40 years of walking in the same circle. Remember, the promised land was only 7 days away, but because of their disobedience, it took them 40 years to get right, just to take a 7-day trip. And so that's 40 years of dusty roads, 40 years of worn out sandals, 40 years of walking in a circle, tired, frustrated, but they still moving by faith. And so generation after generation has been chasing the promise that some of them only heard about in stories. And so after decades of wandering through this wilderness, they finally standing right at the edge of the promised land. And I taught you last Sunday it was a place called Canaan. That's the promised land or the promised place. God had promised their forefathers and their ancestors that I'm going to take you to the promised land. And they said that the promised land was a place flowing with milk and honey, but it was also filled with giants. Now here's the twist. The people who started the journey didn't make it. The people who first started with Moses, they didn't make it because they doubted God. They complained against God. They disobeyed God. And the Lord said, because of that, you can't go in. And so one of the purposes of them walking for 40 years was God says, I'm not going to let you go into the promised land until